All right. Good morning, Detective Ramos.
Good morning, sir.
All right. So there's no evidence whatsoever that at the time that Alicia Andrews was attempting to book an Airbnb that she knew of some murder plot to kill Julio Foolio. Is that correct?
Your Honor, speculation.
He can answer if he knows.
There, at the time that she's booking it on Friday, are you specifying, or
At the
now?
time that she sends an Instagram text message to the individual on Instagram at that time.
I can't speak to what was going on in her mind at the specific time she's sending that message.
All right. There's no confession note anywhere from Alicia Andrews that she knew of any murder plot. That's correct?
Correct, sir.
There's no incriminating message in her phone that says she knew of a murder plot to kill Julio Foolio Charles Jones. Is that correct?
In detail, no.
All right. When you say in detail, no. Is there any undetailed or less detailed message in her phone that says she knew of a plot to kill Julio Foolio Charles Jones?
I'm aware of the messages that she wished death on the victim, Mr. Jones.
Do those messages 4 years before the murder happened have any indication that she knew that Charles Jones was going to die on June 23rd of 2024?
No.
And you have no way of definitively knowing whether she knew that Charles Jones was going to get killed, correct?
As a totality of the evidence throughout the case, yes.
You do?
The evidence would point to her knowledge in the involvement of the crime, her participation.
So your testimony today is that there's evidence, I guess in the totality of the evidence, you know that Alicia Andrews, you know definitively that Alicia Andrews knew that Charles Jones was going to die.
Again, there's no singular piece of evidence other than a detailed confession that can tell me what's going on in someone's mind. So there's an inference or a logical deduction based off of all of the evidence that we've compiled in this case.
So you're making inferences.
It's evidence.
All right. And you said there's nothing short of a confession that would let you know that Alicia Andrews knew that Charles Jones was going to die. Is that your statement?
Wait. Hold on. What's the objection?
Judge, he's misstating the witness's testimony argumentative.
Sustain the objection.
For the misstatement of the argument?
No, for the misstating what the detective just said.
All right. Detective, you mind repeating what you just said?
You're going to have to repeat the question prior.
All right. So you're saying that in the totality, if I'm saying it incorrectly, correct me.
Sure.
In the totality of what you have looked at, that there's evidence that Alicia Andrews knew Charles Jones was going to die.
Yes.
All right. And then you also said that the only thing that would show that Charles Jones knew, or that Alicia Andrews knew that Charles Jones was going to die is a confession.
No, your question was if she knew at the time that specifically she sent the message. Overall, if she knew throughout the whole weekend, the evidence would point that she knew.
All right, but I'm talking about your mention of a confession earlier. You mentioned that short of a confession, there's no evidence that would show definitively that she knew.
No, that's not correct.
All right, you didn't say that, what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that the confession would be something that could point at her state of mind. The evidence that we've compiled in the case would lead to the inference or the logical deduction that she did know Foolio was going to die that weekend.
All right. All right, so I want to talk about Alicia Andrews' motive now. There is no motive for Alicia Andrews, in your opinion, other than her connections or loyalty to Isaiah Chance. Is that correct?
Again, based off of the messaging in her phone where she wished death on him, that's evident that she had some wish that he would die.
All right. You read the message in Alicia Andrews' phone?
I have reviewed them.
All right. And does it say she wished Charles Jones would die?
I can't recall the specific verbiage.
All right. Does it say she wanted to kill Charles Jones?
No.
Charles Jones had a lot of enemies, correct?
Correct.
He talked about a lot of people
Yes.
in a lot of derogatory manners.
My understanding, yes.
All right, he danced on people's graves.
That's what I understand, yes.
He made songs about dead people,
Correct.
mocked dead people,
Yes.
and therefore, and millions of people saw these things online, correct?
Correct.
All right, and so millions of people had opinions about Charles Jones, correct?
I can't speak to what everyone else felt towards Mr. Jones, only those who participated in his murder.
So you can't say whether there were people who felt certain ways about Charles Jones.
Objection, speculation.
I sustain the objection.
All right. So Charles Jones did all of these things, and the only thing that you can speak on is how the individuals in this case felt about him.
That's my responsibility to figure out who killed Mr. Jones. I can't speak on everyone else's idea of Mr. Jones.
All right. But so you can't draw any inferences about how other people felt about Mr. Jones.
Outside of the perpetrators in this crime, I can't speak about other people.
But you can speak about the gangs, right? You've spoken about gangs that he had problems with, right?
Yes.
And other people in Jacksonville he had problems with, right?
Yes.
And that those people didn't like him as well?
Yes.
All right. And you're speaking about other people's motives. I want to speak about, let's go with Davion and Rashad Murphy. Davion and Rashad Murphy were related to an individual named Spaz. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Spaz's real name, his last name is Murphy, right?
I can't recall.
All right. But Spaz,
I'm aware that they're related to Gerard Adams, who was killed. That's the extent of my knowledge of their personal motive.
all right. So Gerard Adams is killed at a football game at Rains High School, correct?
Correct.
In 2018.
That's my understanding, yes.
All right. And the person who is alleged to have killed him, or at least was convicted of killing Spaz, Gerard Adams, is Robert Howard, right?
Yes.
All right. Robert Howard gets arrested, he gets convicted, and he gets sent to prison, correct?
Correct.
And he gets out sometime 2023, 2024. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's my understanding.
All right. So the Murphy brothers, from the evidence that you've seen in their phones, they felt a certain way about Spaz being killed. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
All right. They were angry that Spaz was killed.
That's my understanding.
All right. And they knew that Robert Howard was convicted for killing Spaz. Is that correct?
I would assume so.
All right. So Robert Howard and Charles Jones, they're close friends, right?
Correct.
So Robert Howard gets out of prison for the killing, right?
Yes.
And then him and Charles Jones, they start to get together and hang out. Is that correct?
That's my
That's what they
understanding.
were doing the night that Charles Jones was killed, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Howard and Mr. Jones were hanging out the night that he was killed, yes.
All right. And so much so that Robert Howard was on one of the flyers for Charles Jones's parties.
That is correct.
Robert Howard and Charles Jones were in the same vehicle that night?
At some point in the beginning, I believe they were in the same vehicle or maybe on the drive down, but at the actual time of the murder, no, sir, they weren't in the same vehicle.
All right. So Robert Howard and Charles Jones, they rode from the Airbnb to Teasers together, correct?
No.
They did not.
No. Robert Howard arrived at Teasers at approximately 1:41 a.m. on the 23rd, and Mr. Jones arrived at Teasers at approximately 2:24 to 2:26 a.m.
All right. Robert Howard was at the Airbnb with Charles Jones?
Yes.
So the Murphy brothers, or the related Murphy pair, they knew that Robert Howard was also going to be with Charles Jones.
I'm not sure if they knew. Well, they saw the flyer, yes.
Yeah, surely because Rashad Murphy, you presented evidence that his Instagram account was searching Charles Jones's Foolio, his Instagram page.
Yes, correct, sir.
All right, so we know Rashad Murphy was looking at Julio Foolio's page, his Instagram page,
Yes.
and likely would have seen the flyers that were on the page.
Correct.
Right? And those flyers had Charles Jones and Robert Howard in the same picture.
Correct.
All right. Sean, I want to talk about Sean Gathright. in his motive. Sean Gathright, before this incident, he'd never been involved in any gang activity. He'd never been monitored as a gang member. Is that correct?
By law enforcement, I don't believe so.
All right. So Sean Gathright was not, and he's 18 years old at the time of this?
I believe so.
Did you ever uncover a motive for Sean Gathright?
As other than his relationship with Isaiah Chance and the suspicions that they were involved in other gangland murders in Jacksonville. Again, nothing specific, not a confession or anything like that.
So for Sean Gathright, it's I guess his connection to Isaiah Chance that is his motive for this shooting in this case?
It was my understanding from the research done by Jacksonville that Mr. Gathright and Mr. Chance participate in criminal activity together.
When you say the research done by Jacksonville, are you saying you did not do your own research?
Of course I did.
All right, so let's talk about, I guess, your research and figuring out what the motive for Sean Gathright was. Do you have any other motive besides his connection to Isaiah Chance?
Like a personal motive between Sean and Mr. Jones? I'm not aware.
Yes, personal motive. So whether it be money, whether it be that someone in Sean Gathright's family or one of his friends were killed by 6 Block or Julio Foolio, anything like that.
For Sean Gathright, no.
And then Isaiah Chance's motive in this case. I'm assuming, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you believe his motive is that his friend Tilly was killed.
Multiple members. My understanding is he was very close to 23 as well, signified by his chain and what he's talked on social media, and then Tilly as well. So there's multiple people who have died on Mr. Chance's side that would lead me to believe that he had a motive in this.
All right. So you're saying on his side. What is his side?
The side of the gang war that he's on.
But what is the side? What do you mean side? Are you talking about ATK?
Yeah, it's well established that there's a rival gang war going on in Jacksonville between the victims' gang, 6 Block, and opposing gangs, ATK, their subset groups, and 1200. So Mr. Isaiah Chance was more aligned with the rival gangs of Mr. Jones.
All right. But which rival gang did his, I guess, friends or colleagues die in?
There's ATK, NHG, and some other subset groups.
So you all have Isaiah Chance in ATK, in NHG, and in 1200?
I don't have Isaiah Chance in anything. I believe Jacksonville has documented as a gang member and established his connection to the gangs.
All 3 of those gangs?
The gangs work like hybrid gangs sometimes. It's not just a clear-cut one gang. You can hop from one gang to another. If you have a fallout with ATK and now you're running with 1200, but they're both allies in the war against 6 Block, that happens.
All right. So you're saying that individuals in one gang can just hop out of one, get into another, hop out of that one, get into another gang?
From my experience of reviewing gangs, it happens, yes.
All right. And multiple of Isaiah Chance's acquaintances have died, and so therefore he wants to kill Julio Foolio. Is that correct?
It would speak to his motive.
All right. Other than Isaiah Chance, you have no evidence that Alicia Andrews hung out with any gang members or associates. Is that correct?
Associates, there's evidence she hung out with Sean Gathright.
That she hung out with Sean Gathright. So your testimony today is that there is evidence that Alicia Andrews has hung out with other gang members and gang associates other than Isaiah Chance.
Yes.
Sean Gathright is a gang member?
A gang associate.
Who identified him as a gang associate?
So there's a documentation process for gang members, but not for gang associate. However, there is statutory guidelines on what could classify someone as a gang associate per Florida Statute 874.03.
And when was Sean Gathright classified as a gang associate?
Again, there's no input for gang associate.
So you're
It would just be an investigation and a collection of evidence and reliable sources of information. And if we go back throughout the last 4 years of Sean Gathright's relationship with Isaiah Chance and research, there would be enough statutory requirement to label him a gang associate.
All right, so the gang associate, you're just placing that on him based off of you feeling like he meets the gang associate.
Well, it's not my feeling. It's what the law says.
Right, but when did he become a gang associate, according to the law?
Again, there's no specific date that someone gets labeled a gang associate. When I learned that he was a gang associate is when I realized, that there's evidence of his involvement in this gang war. Somebody else might have known he was a gang associate prior to that or after that. There's no specific date that somebody gets labeled a gang associate.
All right, so before this murder, before June 2024, when did Alicia Andrews hang out with Sean Gathright?
According to her statement to me, there was some kind of gathering at his house that she went to some time ago.
All right, that's the only time that she was around Sean Gathright?
What she told me, yes.
All right.
Oh, and then obviously her hanging out with him throughout the weekend of the murder of Mr. Jones.
Right, so but before this weekend of this murder,
Yes,
you know of one incident where Alicia Andrews was around Sean Gathright.
from her statement, yes.
All right, and she told you that she went to his house with Isaiah Chance, correct?
Yes.
And she sat in the car?
No, specifically that she went to a gathering.
Yeah.
But then the sitting in the car was she may have been to his house other times and sat in the car at those times.
She said she went in and got a plate of food, right?
Something along those lines.
All right, and that was it, right?
Yes, something along those lines,
All right.
yes.
She's never, before this incident, spent any time with him away, out of town, correct?
From my knowledge, I can't speak to that.
All right, you don't have any text messages that prove that Alicia Andrews had conversations with Sean Gathright before this incident?
No, not that I can recall.
All right, they don't have any Instagram direct messages between each other?
Not that I got in for the time period that I pulled.
All right, and they don't have any photographs together?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, they didn't go to school together?
Not that I'm aware of.
They don't know each other's parents?
I'm not aware of that.
So other than going with Isaiah Chance to get a plate of food on one instance, you don't have any evidence at all that Alicia Andrews was hanging out with Sean Gathright?
Objection, Your Honor, on a statement of the witness's testimony.
Overall, go ahead.
Sean Gathright and Isaiah Chance are close friends for years now. So, and the defendant, Alicia Andrews, has been dating Isaiah Chance on and off for 4 years. So,
So you're assuming that because Alicia Andrews and Isaiah Chance are dating on and off, that she must have been around Sean Gathright at some point?
I'm not going to make that assumption, no.
Okay. Talk about Robert Howard again. Robert Howard was Charles Jones's one of his closest friends, correct?
That's my understanding.
All right. You don't have any other reason to understand anything different, right?
No.
And Robert Howard was affiliated with 6 Block, Charles Jones's affiliation, same affiliation.
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
And Robert Howard used to speak to Isaiah Chance on the phone, is that correct?
Yes.
They spoke to each other on the phone even though they're in so-called rival gangs.
That's my understanding, yes.
They spoke to each other on the phone for hours at a time even though they're on rival gangs, right?
My understanding, that's not an uncommon practice. Like, these guys talk to each other via Twitter Spaces and spend a lot of time on the phone talking to each other.
So well, if it's not uncommon, is there another example that you have of 2 rival gang members who speak to each other for hours on end on the phone?
Not specifically.
Okay, but it's not uncommon.
No, in this gang war, Mr. Howard himself and other people have told me that these specific gang members in these specific gangs talk to each other on Twitter Spaces, on FaceTime, often. That's my understanding of this specific gang war.
But you don't have another example of two individuals in rival gangs speaking to each other for hours on end.
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
You also know that when Isaiah Chance and Robert Howard would speak on the phone for hours, that Isaiah Chance was using Alicia Andrews' phone to have these conversations.
I'm aware that there was a phone number mentioned by Robert Howard, something about his girlfriend put it into Cash App and it had the name Alicia. So I don't know that it was Alicia's phone or just a number that at some point was connected to a Cash App that had the name Alicia on it.
All right, so then let's go through that. Robert Howard, what you're testifying to is that Robert Howard was talking to somebody on a particular phone, talking to Isaiah Chance on a particular phone number, right?
Yes.
And Robert Howard's girlfriend goes through his phone, gets the number, and puts the number in Cash App, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to object as to hearsay.
You just testified to this.
Well, overruled. You can go ahead and answer if you know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Robert Howard takes the phone number. Robert Howard's girlfriend takes the phone number and puts it in Cash App, correct?
This is what Robert Howard is saying. I have no way of verifying that this actually happened or what number it was.
But you don't have any reason to doubt what Robert Howard told you, right?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. Speculation.
So what Robert Howard tells you is his girlfriend puts a number in the phone and a number that in the Cash App, and the number that pops up is, or the name that pops up is Alicia Andrews, correct?
No.
The name that pops up is not Alicia Andrews?
It's not Andrews. His direct testimony or statement to me was that his girlfriend put the phone number into Cash App and the name Alicia came up, not Alicia Andrews.
Okay. All right, but Isaiah Chance's name did not come up.
In the Cash App?
Correct.
Again, according to Mr. Howard's testimony, no.
All right. And the inference there is that Isaiah Chance is using Alicia's phone.
Objection, again, speculation.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Did you track down the number that Robert Howard was talking to Isaiah Chance on?
No.
Why not?
He didn't. He wasn't able to tell me.
Okay. And it's not in his phone.
I don't have access to Mr. Howard's phone.
You don't have access to his phone records?
No, I have access to the call detail records that I pulled from the 30-day period prior to this homicide, but my understanding was that Mr. Howard's conversations with Isaiah Chance spanned over a period of years. So no, I do not have years worth of call detail records for Mr. Howard.
All right, but you could have gotten those.
I'm not aware of how far back I can go. Typically, the rule of the normal process is to pull 30 days. We don't want to be too invasive in pulling records.
So you can ask Robert Howard for his consent to get those records, right?
That wouldn't have been a material to this investigation.
Okay, so it's not material that Robert Howard is talking to someone in a rival gang that is a suspect in the murder of his best friend.
No, I'm specifically talking about the phone number from years ago.
All right. So you never verified whether Robert Howard was talking to Isaiah Chance?
It's his testimony. I have no way of verifying conversations that I don't know the exact dates, what phone numbers were used from years ago.
But you didn't attempt to verify it?
For this investigation, it wasn't material, no.
All right. So it's not that you don't have a way to verify, you just didn't try to do it.
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
Sustain the objection.
I mean, we're at cross-examination. I don't even
Right.
understand the objection for argumentative at cross.
Okay. Well, I understand it, and I just sustain the objection. So please ask your next question.